So, I don't really know why I'm talking to the internet about this, because this isn't usually something I would talk to the internet about, but I kind of want a record of it for myself in the future. Um, so I came back home from California, last week, and I'd been out there for 3 weeks, right? And, when I got home, I checked on Faye, and I noticed on her left paw, or left arm, by her elbow, it was kind of inflamed, you know? And I was just like, well, that's kind of weird. So I asked my mom about it, um, and she's like, I hadn't noticed it. Now, at the time, this was like last week, Faye was walking on it just fine. Like, she seemed to be walking on it. It seemed a little sore, like she would react to it every once in a while, or like, she kind of seemed like she wasn't stepping on it, but like it wasn't a huge thing. And I was like, well, that's really weird. I don't know why it's inflamed. I wonder if she like got her paw stuck in her blanket and like twisted it when she was trying to like get out, you know? So let's wait a couple days, see if the inflammation goes down, because she's walking on it now. Maybe this happened like 2 weeks before I got home, or like a week before I got home, and now it's like settling down, like going the other way. And so after like 3 or 4 days, it hadn't gone down at all. And so we took her to the vet this morning, and they were like, wow, that's pretty inflamed. Um, and they were asking like if something happened, like if she had gotten like scratched or was playing around and got like bit by something or stabbed or jabbed or something. And we are like, no, there was no bleeding, nothing like that. So they're like, okay, well, that's weird. So we're going to take an x-ray if that's okay with you. And we're like, yes, of course, like take an x-ray. And so they take an x-ray and they come back in the room, and it's one of the most horrifying things I've ever seen in my life. It's like her muscle, or her bone, has started to deteriorate and fall apart. And they don't know if it's like a tumor or a virus, but it seems to have infected the bone, and it's just breaking it away, and it's just like particle like separation, just like expanding. And the x-ray like was very thin in the one part of the arm, and like recently, right before we took her, she just wasn't walking on it or anything, like totally avoided. And so the arm was very like see-through in the x-ray. So yeah, that is a picture of her left paw. And they were like, well, it seems to be spreading. So you have two options here. It's either a tumor or a virus. Either way, it's going to spread. And one of them has a higher probability that if we try to do something now, it won't spread after. But there's no guarantee. So either your two options right now, Greg, good morning to you, are you either put your hedgehog to sleep or you amputate her arm. Well, that's good. And I was like, okay. And they're like, but, you know, amputation is extremely expensive. And I was like, oh, so now I gotta choose, like, now. And they're like, yeah, because if you don't choose, it's gonna keep spreading. And this is, like, your best option. But there's no guarantee that it's gonna work. And I chose amputation. And so, they did it that afternoon, this afternoon. And I find out, well, I can probably pick her back up tomorrow or Monday. And then it's just a waiting game. And then we send off the arm to get tested to see what it actually happened. And try to understand it to see how we manage it, you know? And so, that's the current state of things. And it's just waiting and seeing if it's even worth it. But, I mean, like, I'm trying to, like, rationalize it, or not rationalize, just think through it. Like, is it actually, like, you know, am I just fighting for something, or... But it's kind of like, if I put her to sleep, I'll spend the rest of my life wondering if it would have been better to go the other way. But if I don't, then I get more time, and then I end up knowing if it worked or not. And I think that question is worth it. So that was my day today, and it was just the best, wasn't it? And then I luckily had the Olympics to distract me all afternoon. But yeah, I kind of just wanted to state it for myself. So